4 people were stabbed during the violent clashes between the Proud Boys and Antifa after 15,000 Trump fans attended the Million MAGA March in D.C. At the same time, another demonstrator was shot at a Stop the Steal rally in Washington state. The conflict is escalating. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we're going to talk about the rising conflict. You see, the right and left right now are reaching a boiling point. People are upset on both sides of the political spectrum. And this ended in disaster, absolute disaster. There's been viral videos going around showing Antifa sucker punching people from behind like absolute cowards. It has been reported that one member of BLM stabbed at least 2 Trump. And what are the police doing in this critical time? Nothing. They're doing absolutely nothing. Now we're going to talk about this, folks. I also want to talk about Alex Jones because he's making waves. He appeared at some of these protests, as well as Trump's new lawsuits to tackle the Supreme Court and the 4 unconstitutional elections held in key swing states. But before we do, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Now more than ever, it's important that you share this kind of content, because if you've noticed, right now, a bunch of libertarian, conservative, centrist, moderates, even liberal voices are being silenced and censored and suppressed by social media, by big tech. The only way we can fight back is to share content we enjoy. And now a quick word from our sponsor. Introducing Battle Games Book 1. Taking place in 2090, after the War of Billions, people in the future fight gladiator-style sci-fi battles. The battle games are a professional sport. The weapons are designed to stun, not kill. The story focuses on the drama between the teams and their path to victory. If you're interested in science fiction, it's got it all, folks. Check out this book today by clicking on the link down below. And we're back. So let's talk about the MAGA March, as well as the victims who were hurt. Here it says on the Daily Mail, at least 4 protesters have been stabbed after violence erupted between the Proud Boys and Black Lives Matter counter-protesters following the 2nd Million MAGA March in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. The crowd of thousands chanted, "Destroy the GOP." Oh, spicy! As they listened to speakers such as conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and Rudy Giuliani's star fraud witness, Melissa Corona, who claimed that Trump is one of the best presidents we've ever had. Now, I believe they're slandering Alex Jones. Alex Jones has been right about a lot of things. Whether you like the guy or you dislike the guy, many of his claims have actually been proven to be true. Did he say some foolish things before in the past? Yes, but he's apologized for those things. You know, nobody's perfect. We all get some things wrong. It is not fair to slander him. He was just a guy trying to find the facts. You know, something that journalists used to do. The story continues. Thousands of the president's loyal followers had gathered outside the Supreme Court to protest after its decision on Friday night to dismiss a case filed by the Texas Attorney General seeking to overthrow the election results that Biden has once. I think they mean won, not once. So this is, oh my God. Okay, so the next line of this story, the story continues. After the enraged crowd marched in support of Trump's unfounded claims of widespread election fraud. This is a lie. This is absolutely fake news. Unfounded. They're not saying that there's no evidence, because there actually is evidence. And that's the point. We've had thousands of sworn affidavits. We've had thousands of witnesses with those affidavits. We've had some mathematical evidence, some actual footage evidence. We've had a lot of evidence. And more than that, Texas, for example, in the recent lawsuit, were arguing that 4 key swing states violated the Constitution and held unconstitutional elections. That was Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. It continues, the violence broke out as night fell, as Black Lives Matter demonstrators began to set off fireworks, and DC cops made at least 23 arrests. Now, I think a lot of the problems here are because the cops weren't doing their jobs. They were not protecting the conservatives. They were not punishing Antifa. and these left-wing nut jobs who are out there attacking innocent people. Here's a picture of a man. He was a member of the Proud Boys, and he was stabbed by a violent BLM member. And here you can see, in this picture before the event happened, the member of the Proud Boys is trying to push away the Antifa member, while the Antifa member is wielding a knife. Now, it really annoys me that the media will never show you this image, and it clearly shows that the counter-protesters were the aggressors. They had the knife, they were armed, and they stabbed Trump supporters. Here you can see a picture of the left-wing protesters. They have umbrellas, they're dressed in black, and you can see one of them here carrying a stick, a weapon. And they're bad guys because they're hiding their identity and they have weapons. I haven't seen a single Trump supporter or conservative with a weapon in this entire article. In other news, everybody's favorite, Alex Jones, is being attacked by Twitter. They're taking something he said out of context, as usual, and saying that, oh my God, he's being threatening. All he said was, Joe Biden will be removed one way or another. It's an innocuous statement. It doesn't really mean anything other than, maybe the Supreme Court will remove Joe Biden. Maybe Kamala Harris will remove Joe Biden. A lot of people think, and this is probably what he meant, that Joe Biden is just a figurehead. The only reason they're using him is for his name. But the real plan is that Joe Biden's going to get sick or he's going to resign, and then Kamala Harris will take over. Isn't it weird how there's so much focus on the Biden-Harris administration? A lot of people think that Harris is the real president, or is going to be. So that's what he meant. He meant that Kamala Harris would be president, and Joe Biden's going to get removed one way or another. But, the left is absolutely freaking out. They're saying, he needs to be arrested. He's a monster. Rosanna Arquette says, Alex Jones will be removed one way or another, off the airwaves into jail. Isn't it funny how the left is always complaining about fascism? Yet their response to some innocuous comment is, let's throw him in prison forever and lock away the key, because we're not fascists. Okay, now that brings us to our third and final story. Trump is not done, and the left keeps saying, just give up, roll over, and accept Joe Biden as your Lord Emperor. Basically, lick the boot. Sorry, Trump is not giving up. Here on the Epoch Times, Trump approves filing retooled Texas-style election challenges. Giuliani. It says, President Donald Trump's legal team is planning on filing retooled lawsuits, his lawyer said on Saturday. We move immediately, seamlessly to Plan B, which is to bring lawsuits now in each one of the states. We had them ready. They're just a version of the one that was brought to the Supreme Court. So last night, the president made the decision. Rudy Giuliani said during an appearance on War Room Pandemic. Texas filed a lawsuit in the Supreme Court against Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan. We know all this. And then it was rejected by SCOTUS. However, they're going to file 4 lawsuits individually in each of these states. And this may actually work. I'm going to tell you why. The problem with the Supreme Court case was that Texas is a different state. And apparently, a different state cannot sue another state about something that has to do with the other state. I think it's ridiculous. I think Texas was right. But this could mean that the Supreme Court is willing to look at the case as long as it comes from the people who were damaged. In this case, that would mean people from these states. Then the Supreme Court will have to look at it. And if they don't, you know what? The Supreme Court truly is worthless. And in my opinion, they're betraying the Constitution. The story continues. Trump's team is going to file suits, or has already filed, in the 4 states, as well as Arizona and Nevada. The suits will incorporate allegations in the complaint filed by Texas. Quote, if the state doesn't have any standing, surely the President of the United States has standing. And certainly the electors in the states have standing. So they will be bringing those very cases right in the courts starting today. Giuliani said, quote, and let's see what excuse they can try to use to avoid having a hearing on that. Courts have been using the matter of standing to dodge facing the facts, he alleged, adding, nobody wants to face the reality that this election was stolen. End quote. And he brings up a really good point. We haven't had a single court decision. We haven't had a single hearing. They're not looking at the witnesses. They aren't looking at the tapes. They are not even examining the claims. But that, my friends, is pretty much the story. You know, George is claiming that there was nothing irregular, despite the fact that there was massive ballot increases for Biden magically overnight, despite the fact that voter turnout was 90% and up in many counties, and despite the fact that we have all of these witnesses. And despite the fact that they counted with nobody watching, no poll watchers, so many things. Like, I could go on and on here. Long story short, these 4 states violated the Constitution, and Trump is going to bring a lawsuit to each state. We must see justice. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Please comment down below. Like this video. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And once again, please share this video. If you want to support the channel, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar, as I am funded by viewers like you. You can also donate via my donation page or send me crypto. Links and addresses are down below. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.